Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Today Journey. I am very happy that you are here with me today. Thank you for choosing to spend your time listening and learning. On this channel, we do more than just learn English words or grammar rules. We also talk about life, thoughts, feelings, and how we understand ourselves and the world around us. Learning English becomes more meaningful when we connect it with real life and real emotions. Maybe right now you are walking outside, enjoying fresh air. Maybe you are cooking food in your kitchen, cleaning your room, traveling, or just sitting quietly with your headphones on. No matter where you are or what you're doing, I truly appreciate you being here. This time is special, and I am glad to share it with you. Today, we are going to talk about a topic that may sound very simple, but it is actually very deep and powerful. We will explore the difference between two important parts of the mind, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. These words may sound difficult or scientific, but please don't worry. I will explain everything slowly and clearly. You do not need any special knowledge. Anyone can understand this topic. I will use easy examples from daily life so you can see how this works in real situations. I will also share some personal stories and ask you some simple questions. These questions are not tests. They are only meant to help you think about your own life and experiences. You might discover something new about yourself. So, why is this topic important? Why should we care about the conscious and subconscious mind? Many people believe that all their decisions, habits, and emotions come from their conscious mind. The conscious mind is the part that is awake, thinking, and aware. It is the part you use when you plan your day, solve a problem, or choose what to eat. But the truth is very different. A large part of our thoughts, feelings, and actions comes from the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind works quietly in the background. You cannot see it, and most of the time you're not aware of it. But it is always active. It shapes your beliefs about yourself, your fears, your confidence, and even the way you react to situations. Think about this for a moment. Have you ever done something and later asked yourself, "Why did I do that?" Or have you ever had the same negative thought again and again, even though you knew it was not helpful or true? Maybe you wanted to change a habit but found it very hard. These experiences often come from the subconscious mind. It is powerful, and it influences us more than we realize. Understanding this difference can help you understand yourself better and make positive changes in your life. When we start to understand how the subconscious mind works, something very important happens. We begin to see that change is possible. We can slowly change our habits, build stronger confidence, and even change the way we see ourselves and our lives. Many people feel stuck, but often they are only stuck because of old thoughts and beliefs. When those thoughts change, life can change too. In this episode, we will explore both the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. We will talk about how these two parts of the mind are different and how they work together every day. More importantly, we will learn how to train them so we can live a calmer, more peaceful, and more intentional life. A life where we act with purpose, not only with habit. While we talk about the mind, you will also learn useful English words, phrases, and expressions. This way, you are improving two things at the same time, your thinking and your English skills. On English Today Journey, this podcast is not only about listening to English sounds. It is about growing as a person through English. As you listen, I want you to think deeply. Try to connect these ideas to your own life. Ask yourself simple but powerful questions. How does this idea relate to me? What do I truly believe deep inside about myself? Are these beliefs helping me or hurting me? Is there something in my life that could change just by changing the way I think? Before we continue, let's pause for a moment. Take a deep breath with me. Relax your body. Get comfortable. Now let's explore the power of your mind, both the conscious and the subconscious. Let's begin with the conscious mind, because this is the part you already know best. So, what is the conscious mind? In very simple words, the conscious mind is the part of you that knows what is happening right now. It is the part that thinks on purpose. When you are aware, focused, and paying attention, you are using your conscious mind. You use your conscious mind when you make decisions, when you speak, when you read, and when you try to solve a problem. It is the thinking and choosing part of your mind. Imagine you are sitting in a classroom or in a meeting. You are listening carefully to the teacher or the speaker. You are trying to understand the information, and maybe you are writing notes. At that moment, your conscious mind is working actively. You are focused on the present moment. Here is another example. Imagine you are choosing what to eat for lunch. You look at the menu and think, should I eat pizza or should I eat a salad? You compare options and make a choice. This process of thinking and deciding is your conscious mind at work. The conscious mind helps you plan, analyze, and make choices. However, it is only one part of your mind, and it does not work alone. To fully understand yourself, we also need to understand the subconscious mind, which we will explore next. Think about when you are learning English. Right now, as you listen to me, your conscious mind is working. It is paying attention to the words you hear, the meaning of the sentences, and maybe even the pronunciation. You are awake, alert, and focused. This is the conscious mind doing its job. The conscious mind is like the captain of a ship. When you are awake and aware, it is in control. It helps you focus, think clearly, and make choices on purpose. When you decide to listen carefully, speak politely, or solve a problem, the conscious mind is leading. However, there is another part of the mind that is much bigger and more powerful. This part is called the subconscious mind. If the conscious mind is the captain of the ship, the subconscious mind is like the deep ocean under the ship. You do not always see it, but it is always moving. It silently influences the direction of your life, your feelings, and your actions. Let's look more closely at how the conscious mind works in everyday life. Imagine you are sitting in a classroom or attending a meeting. You are listening carefully to the teacher or speaker. You try to understand the ideas. Maybe you take notes, ask a question, or repeat important points quietly in your head so you can remember them later. At that moment, your conscious mind is fully active. It is awake, present, and focused on understanding what is happening right now. Here is another common example. Imagine you are speaking English with someone. You want to express yourself clearly and correctly. So you think before you speak. You might stop for a moment and ask yourself, what is the right word? Or how can I say this in a polite way? That small pause before speaking is your conscious mind working hard. It is helping you choose your words carefully. The conscious mind also helps you make decisions every day. Some decisions are very small. For example, you decide what to eat for lunch, whether you want tea or coffee, or which clothes you want to wear today. You think for a moment and then choose. Other decisions are much bigger and more important. You might think about whether you should apply for a new job, move to another city, or start learning a new skill. These choices take more time and careful thinking. You consider your options, think about the good and bad sides, and try to choose what is best for you. This is your conscious mind guiding you. The conscious mind is very useful, but it has limits. It can only focus on a few things at one time. That is why understanding the subconscious mind is so important. The subconscious works quietly in the background and affects many of your thoughts and actions without you noticing. To truly understand yourself and create positive change, you need to understand both parts of your mind and how they work together. The conscious mind is the voice inside your head that says, okay, let me think about this carefully. It is the part of you that tries to understand situations, solve problems, and make decisions step by step. When you slow down and think before you act, that is your conscious mind speaking. However, there is something very important you need to understand about the conscious mind. Even though it feels powerful, it has clear limits. Scientists say that the conscious mind can only hold a small amount of information at one time. Usually, it can focus on about 5, 6, 7, or maybe up to 9 things. That is not a lot. Because of this limit, it is very hard to do 2 difficult things at the same time. For example, imagine you are reading a book. You are focused on the words and the meaning. Suddenly, someone starts talking to you. What happens? Your attention breaks. You may stop understanding the book, or you may miss what the person is saying. This happens because your conscious mind cannot fully focus on both things at the same time. It must choose where to put its attention. So even though the conscious mind feels like it is in control, it is actually only a small part of your total mind. A helpful way to understand this is to imagine an iceberg floating in the ocean. The small part of the iceberg that you see above the water is your conscious mind. It is visible and clear. But under the water, hidden from sight, there is a much larger part of the iceberg. That hidden part represents your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is much bigger than the conscious mind. Most of your thoughts, emotions, habits, and behaviors come from this hidden part. Even though you may not notice it, the subconscious mind is always working. We will talk more about it soon, but for now, remember this important idea. The conscious mind is only the small, visible part of your mind. The conscious mind is the part of you that is aware of the present moment.
It knows what you are doing right now.
It knows what you are thinking and what choices you are making on purpose. When you decide to focus, plan, or think carefully, you are using your conscious mind. Let me give you a very simple example to make this idea clearer. Imagine you are learning to play the guitar. In the beginning, everything feels difficult. You think about every small movement. You think about where to place your fingers, how hard to press the strings, and how to move your hand to make the right sound. This feels slow and tiring because your conscious mind is guiding every action. But after weeks or months of practice, something interesting happens. You no longer have to think about every small detail. Your fingers move more easily. Your hand strums naturally. You can even play while thinking about something else. This is because the skill has moved from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind. This example shows how the conscious mind helps us learn new things, but the subconscious mind is where skills and habits are stored. Understanding this difference is the first step to understanding how your mind truly works and how you can change your habits and your life. At some point, the subconscious mind takes over the process, but we will talk more about that very soon. For now, let's slow down and not move too fast. I want you to pause for a moment and reflect. Ask yourself one simple question. What am I consciously thinking about right now? Maybe you're thinking about the words you are hearing. Maybe your mind has already started to move somewhere else. You might be thinking about your to-do list, a message on your phone, a problem at work, or something you forgot to do today. Whatever it is, the important thing is this. You can notice your thoughts. That ability to notice what is happening in your mind is your conscious mind working. This is a very beautiful and powerful thing. When you start paying attention to your conscious thoughts, you open the door to self-awareness. Self-awareness means understanding yourself better. It means knowing what you think, how you feel, and why you react the way you do. When you become more aware, you start to live more deliberately. Instead of only reacting to life automatically, you begin to choose your actions. You choose how to speak. You choose how to think. You choose how to respond to situations. This is the very first step in personal growth. Growth does not begin with big changes. It begins with awareness. As we continue this episode, I invite you to practice staying present. Notice when your mind starts to wander. When you notice it, do not judge yourself. Simply and gently bring your attention back to the moment. This small exercise helps you strengthen your conscious mind. Over time, it trains you to live with more clarity, calmness, and purpose. Now that we have explored the conscious mind, the part of you that is awake, aware, and making choices, it is time to go a little deeper. Let's talk about the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is often misunderstood, but it is also the most powerful part of the mind. It has a huge influence on how we think, how we feel, and how we behave every single day, even when we are not aware of it. Most of the time, it works quietly without asking for attention. So, what is the subconscious mind? In very simple words, it is the part of your mind that works silently in the background. It stores everything you have learned from past experiences. It holds your memories, your habits, your beliefs, your fears, and your emotional reactions. While your conscious mind is busy thinking about the present moment, your subconscious mind is always working behind the scenes. Your subconscious mind remembers how you felt in the past. It remembers what worked and what did not. It learns patterns and repeats them automatically. This is why we often react without thinking. This is why some habits are easy and others are hard to change. The subconscious mind is like a deep storage system that keeps information and uses it to guide your behavior. You may not hear the subconscious mind speaking loudly, but it is always active. It influences your confidence, your self-image, and your expectations about life. Understanding this part of your mind is very important because when you understand it, you can begin to change it. And when you change your subconscious patterns, you can change your life in powerful ways. The subconscious mind holds thousands of pieces of information from your past. It remembers experiences, emotions, lessons, and patterns that you may not clearly remember anymore. It works like a hidden engine that never stops. Even when you are sleeping, your subconscious mind is still active, organizing memories and preparing you for the next day. Let's use a very simple comparison to understand this better. Think about your smartphone. When you open one app like the camera, that is similar to your conscious mind. You're choosing to use it right now and you're focused on it. But at the same time, many other apps are running quietly in the background. Your email might be syncing, your calendar could be updating, and your music might still be playing. You do not see these apps on the screen, but they are still working. This is exactly how the subconscious mind works. It runs quietly in the background, guiding your thoughts, actions, and feelings without asking for your attention. Here is another example that many people experience. Have you ever driven on a familiar road, such as going to work, school, or the market, and later realized that you do not remember much of the drive? You were not asleep. You followed the rules. You stopped at traffic lights and made the correct turns. You arrived safely, but your conscious mind was thinking about something else. Maybe you were planning your day, worrying about a problem, or remembering something from the past. So, who was driving the car?
It was your subconscious mind.
It remembered the road and knew the routine. It took control and guided you safely while your conscious mind wandered. This shows how powerful and reliable the subconscious mind can be. The subconscious mind is also the place where your automatic thoughts and reactions come from. These are quick feelings or responses that appear without effort or planning. For example, imagine someone gives you a compliment. Instead of feeling happy and saying thank you, you immediately feel shy or uncomfortable. That reaction does not come from your conscious mind. It comes from your subconscious beliefs about yourself. Another example is fear. Maybe when you see a dog, you instantly feel afraid. Even if you know the dog is friendly and will not hurt you, the fear still appears. This fear might come from a memory stored in your subconscious mind, such as being chased or bitten by a dog when you were a child. Your subconscious remembers the emotion and reacts quickly to protect you. These automatic reactions are not good or bad by themselves. They are simply learned responses. The important thing is to understand where they come from. When you become aware of your subconscious patterns, you gain the power to change them. You can slowly replace fear with calm, doubt with confidence, and negative habits with positive ones. Understanding the subconscious mind helps you understand why you react the way you do. It shows you that many of your feelings and behaviors are not random. They are learned. And because they are learned, they can also be changed with patience and awareness. These automatic reactions come from deep beliefs stored inside your subconscious mind. Beliefs such as, I am not good enough, I don't deserve praise, or dogs are dangerous. You usually do not think about these beliefs directly. They live quietly below the surface of your awareness, but they influence your daily life in very strong ways. Many of these beliefs were formed a long time ago.
Some started in childhood.
Others came from family members, teachers, school experiences, culture, or even from one single comment or moment. You may not remember exactly when it happened, but your subconscious mind remembers. It keeps these ideas stored and uses them to guide your reactions. Sometimes these subconscious beliefs can hold us back. They can limit our confidence, stop us from trying new things, or make us afraid without a clear reason. But sometimes the subconscious mind is actually protecting us. It is important to understand this. The subconscious mind is designed to keep us safe. For example, imagine you touched a hot stove when you were a child. It hurt badly. Your subconscious mind quickly learned a simple lesson. Don't touch that again. It is dangerous. After that experience, whenever you get close to something hot, you pull your hand away without thinking. You do not need to stop and analyze the situation. Your subconscious reacts instantly to protect you. This is a good and helpful function. So the subconscious mind is not bad, and it is not working against you. It is simply doing its job. It stores experiences, remembers emotional lessons, and tries to protect you from pain or danger. The problem happens when the subconscious uses old information that is no longer useful. If we want to grow, change old habits, or build new and healthier ones, we must learn how to work with the subconscious mind. Fighting it does not help. Understanding it does. This is the key to personal change. The subconscious mind often creates emotional reactions as a way to keep us safe. Let's look at a clear example. Imagine that once in the past, you gave a speech in front of other people and it did not go well. Maybe you forgot what you wanted to say. Maybe someone laughed. Or maybe you simply felt very embarrassed. That painful experience was stored deep in your subconscious mind. Now, fast forward to the present. You think about speaking in public again. You have not even gone on stage yet. Nothing bad has happened. But suddenly, your body reacts. You feel nervous. Your hands become sweaty. Your heart starts beating faster. You feel fear inside. Where does this fear come from? Not from the present moment, but from the past memory stored in your subconscious. Your subconscious is trying to protect you from feeling that same pain again. It sends warning signals through your body. Understanding this is very important. It helps you see that fear is not always a sign of real danger. Sometimes it is just an old memory asking for attention. When you understand this, you can begin to respond with calm instead of panic. You can gently teach your subconscious that the situation is safe now. This awareness gives you power. When you understand your subconscious reactions, you stop blaming yourself. Instead, you start guiding yourself toward confidence, growth, and peace. Is there real danger in that moment? No, there is not. But your subconscious mind remembers the old pain and tries to protect you from feeling it again. The fear you feel is not logical. It does not come from what is happening now. It comes from an emotional memory stored deep in your subconscious. Let me ask you something important. Have you ever done something and later asked yourself, why did I act like that? Maybe you pushed someone away even though you liked them. Maybe you avoided a good opportunity, even though it could have helped you. Maybe you became very upset over something small. These reactions can feel confusing. Often, the answer is not in your conscious thinking. It is in your subconscious mind. Think of the subconscious like a computer program. Once it is created, it keeps running the same script again and again. Unless you stop, notice it, and change it, the program continues automatically. This is why people repeat the same mistakes or patterns, even when they want to change. The subconscious mind is very powerful, but it is not very logical. It does not always care about facts or reality. Instead, it believes what you tell it again and again. Repetition is very important to the subconscious. For example, if you keep telling yourself, I'm not good at English, your subconscious will accept this idea as truth. Over time, it will make that belief feel real. You may feel nervous when speaking, avoid practice, or lose motivation. This happens even if the belief is not true. But the opposite is also true. If you start telling yourself, I'm improving my English every day, your subconscious will begin to accept this belief too. Slowly, you will start to feel more confident. You may feel more motivated to practice, speak more freely, and enjoy learning. The words you repeat become the messages your subconscious believes. The subconscious mind learns through repetition, emotion, and experience. It does not learn through logic, explanations, or facts. That is why it is very important to pay attention to what you say to yourself every day, both in words and in feelings. Here is the good news. You do not need to be afraid of your subconscious mind. When you understand how it works, it can become one of your greatest helpers. Think about how much it already does for you. It helps you walk, breathe, eat, and talk without thinking. It stores your skills, talents, and strengths. It allows you to do many things automatically. Your subconscious can also help you heal, grow, and succeed if you give it the right messages. Positive repetition, supportive thoughts, and emotional experiences can slowly change old patterns. But remember this important point. Your subconscious does not choose what to believe. You choose. You choose with your conscious mind. What you think, say, and focus on today becomes the belief your subconscious carries tomorrow. When you understand this, you gain the power to shape your life in a better way. Over time, your subconscious mind follows what you repeatedly think and believe. That is why reflection is so important. When you look at your own life, start noticing your patterns. What thoughts or reactions keep appearing again and again, even when they do not make sense? When do you feel afraid, angry, or unsure without a clear reason? These repeated reactions are clues. Ask yourself gentle questions. Where might these reactions come from? Is this belief something I chose consciously as an adult, or is it something I learned earlier in life without realizing it? Many beliefs come from childhood, school, family, or society. Asking questions like this opens the door to real personal change. Awareness always comes before change. Now that we have explored the subconscious mind, let's move to the next step. We will look at how the conscious mind and the subconscious mind are different, and how they also work together. Understanding this relationship is very important. You can imagine the conscious and subconscious minds as two different people working on the same team. They have different roles and different strengths. They do not do the same job, but they must cooperate to help you live a balanced and successful life. Let's start again with the conscious mind. The conscious mind is connected to logic, thinking, and decision-making. It works slowly and carefully. Using it takes effort and energy. You need to be awake, focused, and paying attention. For example, when you learn a new English word, your conscious mind is working hard. You look at the spelling. You listen to the pronunciation. You try to understand the meaning. You may repeat the word, write it down, or try to use it in a sentence. All of this takes effort. That is why learning something new often feels tiring at first. Your conscious mind is doing a lot of work, step by step. It is like using a muscle that is not yet strong. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes, but in the beginning, it needs energy. The subconscious mind works very differently. While the conscious mind focuses and thinks, the subconscious stores information and creates habits. It does not need effort. It works automatically. Once something is learned and repeated enough times, it moves into the subconscious. Then it feels easy and natural. So here is one key difference. The conscious mind is about focus, awareness, and effort. The subconscious mind is about memory, habits, and automatic reactions. The conscious mind thinks, I am learning this. The subconscious mind says, I already know this. Another difference is speed. The conscious mind is slow and careful. The subconscious mind is fast. It reacts instantly based on past experiences. That is why emotional reactions often come before logical thinking. When you're learning English, both minds are working together. First, your conscious mind learns the word with effort. Later, your subconscious remembers it and uses it automatically when you speak. This is how learning becomes natural. Understanding these differences helps you become more patient with yourself. It explains why change feels hard at first and easier later. When you work with both your conscious and subconscious minds, instead of fighting them, real and lasting change becomes possible. When you learn something new, like a word in English, your conscious mind has to work hard. You focus on the spelling, the pronunciation, and the meaning. You might even practice using it in a sentence. This is conscious learning. It requires effort, attention, and energy. Your conscious mind is active, thinking carefully about each step. The subconscious mind works in a very different way. It is fast, automatic, and connected to emotions. It does not need your attention to function. In fact, it keeps working even when you're not actively thinking about it at all. You can think of your subconscious as running the show behind the scenes. It controls many things automatically: your habits, your emotional reactions, and the actions you do without noticing. For example, if you have always felt nervous speaking in public, that fear usually comes from your subconscious, not your conscious mind. Somewhere in your past, your subconscious learned that speaking in public is scary or unsafe. Now, even when you know logically that you are safe, the subconscious reacts automatically. It triggers nervousness to protect you. This is why emotions often appear before you have time to think. A simple way to picture the difference between conscious and subconscious minds is with the iceberg metaphor. Imagine an iceberg floating in the ocean. The small tip that you can see above the water is your conscious mind. It is active, aware, and making deliberate decisions. But the much larger part of the iceberg, hidden beneath the water, is your subconscious mind. Most of your thoughts, habits, and behaviors happen in that hidden part. Even though it is invisible, it is far more powerful than the part above the surface. Another important difference is how they learn. The conscious mind learns through logic. It studies by reading, thinking, listening, and focusing. This is why it is great for school, learning new facts, planning, and solving problems. Learning with the conscious mind takes effort and awareness. The subconscious mind learns in a different way. It learns through repetition, emotions, and experiences, not through logic. It absorbs patterns and feelings. This is why sometimes you may know something logically but still feel stuck emotionally. For example, your conscious mind may think, "I am safe when I speak English in public. No one will judge me or hurt me." You understand this and know it is true, but your subconscious may still feel nervous. It remembers old experiences or fears and reacts automatically. Until the subconscious is retrained through repetition and positive experience, those feelings continue. Understanding this difference is very important. Your conscious mind can guide your actions and make deliberate choices, while your subconscious mind influences your emotions and automatic behaviors. When these two parts work together, you can learn faster, feel calmer, and create lasting changes in your life. Sometimes, your body reacts before your conscious mind even has a chance to think. You might feel nervous, your hands may shake, your heart may race. These reactions often come from old emotional memories stored in your subconscious, not from logic or reality. For example, imagine you've been telling yourself for years, "I'm not good at English. I always make mistakes." Even if today your conscious mind tries to think differently, maybe saying, "I can do this. I am improving," your subconscious may still hold on to that old belief. It has been repeated so many times that it feels real. As the saying goes, old habits die hard. The more you repeat a thought, the deeper it goes into your subconscious, and the more automatic it becomes. This is why it takes time, patience, and consistent practice to replace old beliefs with new, positive ones. You are essentially retraining your subconscious mind with fresh messages. It's like teaching a friend a new habit. Repetition and encouragement are key. The subconscious mind learns through repetition and experience, so the more you consciously repeat positive thoughts, the more your subconscious begins to accept them. Eventually, your automatic reactions start to change as well. You might wonder, do the conscious and subconscious minds fight with each other? Not exactly. They don't argue, but if they are not aligned, they can send you mixed messages. For instance, your conscious mind may say, I want to start exercising regularly. I want to be healthier and stronger. But your subconscious mind might respond quietly, it's too hard. You're not a gym person. Just stay home and relax. In this moment, your conscious goal and your subconscious belief are not in harmony. You may feel stuck, frustrated, or confused. You want to change, but something inside keeps pulling you back to old habits. This is one of the biggest challenges in personal growth, aligning the conscious and subconscious minds so they work together rather than against each other. Here's the important point. The conscious mind sets the intention. It decides what you want, plans the steps, and focuses on the goal. The conscious mind is like a captain giving directions, but the subconscious mind is the engine. It carries out those directions by turning intention into habit, emotion, and automatic behavior. Real change happens when the two work as a team. If the conscious mind says one thing but the subconscious believes another, your progress is slow or inconsistent. But when both are in sync, your actions, emotions, and habits naturally support your goals. Think of it this way. Learning something new, like speaking English confidently, starts with your conscious mind. You focus, practice, and remind yourself, I am improving every day. Over time, the subconscious begins to accept this message, and eventually, speaking English becomes automatic. You don't have to remind yourself constantly. Your body and mind respond naturally. The secret to lasting change is creating this teamwork between intention, conscious mind, and automatic action, subconscious mind. So the next time you feel conflicted, nervous, or stuck, remember, it's not just about willpower. It's about training your subconscious to support your conscious goals. Start by noticing your patterns, repeating positive messages, and patiently reinforcing new habits. Over time, your mind begins to work with you, not against you, and change becomes not only possible but natural. Let me share a personal example to make this easier to understand. When I was younger, I had a terrible experience during a class presentation. I forgot my lines, froze completely, and felt like everyone in the room was staring at me, judging me. I remember feeling embarrassed, small, and very nervous. Now, if I think logically, it was just a school presentation. Nobody was going to hurt me. It was a safe situation. But at that moment, my subconscious didn't see it that way. It stored the memory as a kind of danger. It learned, speaking in front of people is painful. Don't do it again. Years later, even though I knew logically that I was safe, whenever I had to speak in public, the same nervous feelings appeared automatically. My hands would sweat, my heart would race, and I would feel like running away. That reaction didn't come from reason. It came from my subconscious trying to protect me from experiencing that embarrassment again. Many people have similar experiences. Maybe you trusted someone and got hurt, and now it feels scary to open up again. Or perhaps you tried something new and failed, and now you hesitate to try again. Logically, you know that failure is a natural part of learning, but the subconscious keeps replaying the old memory and triggering the same emotional reaction. This is how the subconscious quietly shapes much of our lives. It takes past experiences and continues to guide our emotions and actions, even when they no longer serve us. The good news is that the subconscious can also unlearn fear and limiting beliefs. Just as it can store negative memories and reactions, it can also absorb new, positive ones. The key is awareness. You need to notice the patterns in your life. Ask yourself, where do my fears come from? Are my beliefs truly my own? Or did I pick them up a long time ago from others, family, school, culture, or past experiences? Is this habit helping me grow, or is it holding me back? When you start reflecting on these questions, you begin to see how much of your life is shaped by what lies beneath the surface. Awareness is the first step to real change. When I was younger, I was also afraid of asking questions in class. Maybe you felt the same way. I would sit quietly even when I didn't understand something, worried about what others might think. That hesitation didn't come from logic. My subconscious had learned that speaking up could be embarrassing or unsafe. Over time, I realized that if I wanted to change, I needed to work with my subconscious, not just my conscious mind. By practicing small actions, repeating positive messages, and gently challenging the old patterns, I could slowly retrain my subconscious to respond differently. The important lesson is this: your subconscious is not your enemy. It tries to protect you based on what it has learned. But once you understand it, you can guide it. You can teach it new reactions, new beliefs, and new habits. You can replace fear with confidence, hesitation with action, and self-doubt with empowerment. The first step is noticing. The next step is practice. And over time, your subconscious will start supporting your conscious goals, helping you grow instead of holding you back. When I was in school, I was afraid to ask questions. My mind would tell me, if I ask, maybe people will laugh at me. Maybe they will think I'm not smart. I never questioned that thought. I just believed it. My subconscious accepted it as the truth. So for years, I stayed quiet, even when asking questions could have helped me learn more and grow. But here's the important point: that fear wasn't based on reality. It wasn't a fact. It came from a memory or a small experience from the past when I felt embarrassed. My subconscious remembered that moment and decided, asking questions is dangerous. Avoid it. That's how the subconscious works. It tries to protect us, even when the danger is no longer real. It took me time and awareness to change that pattern. I had to remind myself again and again, it's okay to ask. It's okay not to know everything. It's okay to learn. Slowly, over time, the fear began to fade. Little by little, I felt more confident and willing to participate, to speak up, and to grow. But personal experiences aren't the only things that shape our subconscious. We also carry beliefs from family, culture, and society. Many of these beliefs are passed down quietly without anyone directly telling us. For example, in some cultures, people are taught that talking about money is rude or inappropriate. In others, success is respected only if it comes through struggle and hard work. These ideas sink deep into our subconscious, without us even noticing. What happens if you grow up believing that money is bad? You might avoid opportunities that could help you improve your life. If you believe that resting is lazy, you might overwork yourself and risk burnout. Your subconscious doesn't ask if these beliefs are true or helpful. It just accepts whatever it hears repeatedly and treats it as fact. Beliefs about confidence and self-worth also form early. For example, if as a child you were only praised when you achieved perfection, getting the highest grade, behaving exactly as expected, you may grow up thinking, I'm only valuable if I am perfect. Even if you know logically that mistakes are part of learning, your subconscious keeps repeating that old pattern. I must be perfect to be accepted. This can make you feel anxious, afraid of failure, or hesitant to try new things. The good news is that, just like the subconscious can store fear, it can also store positive beliefs. If you start feeding it new messages, repeating, it's okay to make mistakes. I am learning. I am growing. It slowly begins to accept them. With time, the old patterns fade, and the subconscious starts to work in harmony with your conscious mind. This is how real change happens. You start to feel more confident, make better choices, and act with purpose rather than reacting out of fear or old habits. The key is awareness and repetition. First, notice the beliefs and patterns that are holding you back. Then, consciously feed your subconscious with new, empowering messages. Over time, your mind begins to support you, and what once felt difficult or scary becomes natural. Your subconscious, when guided properly, becomes your greatest ally in learning, growth, and self-confidence. When we were young, experiences and feedback shaped how we see ourselves, often without us realizing it. For example, If as a child you were only praised when you succeeded and criticized when you made a mistake, your subconscious might have learned, I am only valuable when I succeed. If I fail, I am not good enough. That belief can stay with you for years, and as an adult, it can influence how you act. You might avoid trying new things, hesitate to show your true self, or fear failure. Not because you lack potential, but because your subconscious is following an old rule that no longer fits your life. Now, pause for a moment and ask yourself a powerful question. What belief might you be carrying that no longer serves you? Maybe it's something like, I'm not smart enough, I'll never be confident, or people like me can't succeed. Where did that belief come from? Is it based on fact, or did it come from something you heard or experienced years ago? And the most important question, do you still want to carry that belief with you? Here's the empowering truth. Once you become aware of a belief, you have the ability to change it. You can reprogram your subconscious with new thoughts, new habits, and new experiences. It won't happen instantly, just like you can't build a new muscle in one day, but with patience, consistency, and repetition, your subconscious will gradually learn a new story. A story that supports you instead of holding you back. Over time, what once felt automatic, fear, hesitation, or self-doubt, can transform into confidence, motivation, and courage. So how exactly does this reprogramming work? First, awareness is key. You need to notice the beliefs and patterns your subconscious is running. Second, you need to feed it new messages consistently. For example, if your subconscious has been telling you, I'm not good at English, you can start replacing that with, I am improving every day. I am capable. I can learn. Repetition is vital because the subconscious learns through repetition, emotion, and experience, not logic. Even if your conscious mind knows the new statement is true, your subconscious needs to experience it repeatedly before it fully accepts it. It's also important to take small actions that prove the new belief. If you want to feel more confident, practice speaking in small groups. If you want to feel capable, try new challenges step by step. Every successful experience reinforces the new message in your subconscious. Over time, your old limiting beliefs lose their power, and the new supportive beliefs start guiding your actions automatically. Remember, your conscious mind and your subconscious mind learn differently. Your conscious mind learns through reading, thinking, studying, and planning. Your subconscious, however, learns through experience, repetition, and emotion. That's why simply thinking positively isn't enough. You must repeatedly practice, feel, and act in alignment with the new belief. The more you do this, the more your subconscious starts to follow your conscious goals. Eventually, what once required effort and conscious focus becomes automatic and natural. The amazing thing is that this process works for all areas of life: confidence, learning, habits, emotions, relationships, and success. Once you understand how your subconscious works, you can take control of it. You can replace fear with courage, doubt with confidence, and old, limiting beliefs with empowering ones. It takes time and patience, but it is completely possible. Your subconscious, once trained, becomes your greatest ally, helping you live with more clarity, confidence, and purpose every single day. The subconscious mind learns differently from the conscious mind. While your conscious mind thinks, reasons, and plans, the subconscious learns through repetition, emotion, and experience. That's why creating real, lasting change requires more than just logic or thinking differently. If you want to change deeply, you must speak the language your subconscious understands, feelings, experiences, and repeated practice. Luckily, there are simple tools anyone can use to start reprogramming the subconscious so that it works for you, not against you. And even small daily steps can lead to big, long-term changes. One of the most powerful tools for influencing the subconscious is repetition. Think about how most of your habits and beliefs formed. You didn't learn them in one moment. They became part of you because you heard them, saw them, or practiced them over and over. The subconscious remembers patterns, not single events. That's why affirmations can be so helpful. An affirmation is a short, positive statement that you repeat every day, such as, I am learning and growing every day, or I am confident when I speak. At first, your conscious mind might resist. It might whisper, that's not true. You're not really confident. But the subconscious doesn't argue. It notices repetition. The more you repeat an affirmation, the more your subconscious starts to accept it. Over time, something amazing happens. Your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors begin to align with that new belief, almost automatically, without extra effort. Another highly effective tool is visualization. This is when you use your imagination to create clear, vivid images in your mind of the life you want to live or the person you want to become. For instance, if you are about to give a presentation, instead of imagining everything going wrong, you can close your eyes and picture yourself standing tall, smiling, speaking clearly, and connecting with your audience. You don't just imagine the result. You imagine the feelings, the confidence, the calmness, and the success. By practicing this in your mind repeatedly, your subconscious begins to accept this new experience as familiar, which makes it easier to act confidently in real life. Visualization works because the subconscious often cannot tell the difference between a real memory and a vividly imagined one. By imagining success, you train your mind to behave as if success is normal. Consistency is key with both repetition and visualization. The subconscious mind is like a garden. It grows what you plant and nurture. If you plant negative thoughts, fear, or doubt, those will grow stronger. But if you plant positive thoughts, confidence, and empowering beliefs and repeat them regularly, those beliefs grow and take root, gradually replacing old, limiting patterns. Small daily actions, like speaking affirmations, imagining successful outcomes, or practicing positive behaviors, compound over time. They gradually reshape your habits, your emotions, and your automatic reactions. The exciting part is that you don't need to overhaul everything at once. Even a few minutes of focused practice each day can produce meaningful change. Start with one small habit, one belief you want to strengthen, or one area where you want more confidence. Repeat it, imagine it, feel it, and act in alignment with it. The subconscious learns from consistency, emotion, and experience, not force or logic. Over time, your conscious efforts guide the subconscious, and slowly, naturally, your new patterns begin to shape your life. You can literally reprogram your mind to support your growth, your confidence, and your success. With patience, awareness, and daily practice, the subconscious becomes a powerful ally, helping you live with purpose, clarity, and confidence every day. Visualization is a powerful way to train your subconscious mind. When you imagine something clearly, your mind starts to believe it. You see yourself succeeding, feel the calmness in your body, notice the smile on your face, and hear your voice flowing easily. The subconscious doesn't always know the difference between imagination and reality. That's why practicing success in your mind can make it feel natural when it happens in real life. If you repeatedly imagine positive outcomes, your subconscious begins to expect success instead of fear. It's like giving your mind a rehearsal before the real event. Another helpful tool is meditation or deep breathing. These practices calm the busy thoughts of your conscious mind and make space for new ideas to reach the subconscious. When you meditate, you might focus on your breath, a calming word, or just the sensations in your body. At first, your mind may wander, but with practice, you feel more relaxed, more present, and more connected to yourself. In this calm state, your subconscious becomes more open and receptive. You can then introduce new, positive thoughts that gradually reshape your automatic responses and feelings. Journaling is a fourth tool that is simple but very effective. Writing down your thoughts, fears, goals, and emotions allows you to see what is happening inside your mind. When you write limiting beliefs like, I'm not good enough or I always fail, you can examine them. You can ask, Is this belief helping me, or is it holding me back? Journaling gives you a clear view of your inner world. Awareness is always the first step to change, and writing helps you notice patterns that were hidden in your subconscious. Here's an example from my own experience. One of my students, Maria, struggled with speaking English in front of others. She understood grammar and vocabulary perfectly, but when it came time to speak, her mind froze. We talked about her problem, and it became clear that the issue wasn't language itself, it was belief. Deep in her subconscious, she held the idea, "I'm not good enough." That thought blocked her ability to speak confidently. By using repetition, visualization, and journaling, she slowly started to challenge that belief. She imagined herself speaking clearly, wrote down her fears and successes, and repeated positive affirmations daily. Over time, her subconscious accepted the new messages. What was once automatic fear became confidence. Her behavior, feelings, and even posture began to change naturally. The key idea is that the subconscious is always listening. It learns through repetition, emotion, and experience. Logic alone is not enough to change deep patterns. That's why tools like visualization, meditation, affirmations, and journaling work so well. They communicate directly with the subconscious in the language it understands. The more consistent and regular you are, the faster your subconscious adapts. Even small daily steps can create lasting, meaningful changes over weeks and months. The final point to remember is that change is gradual. Just as habits and fears were formed over time, new beliefs and patterns take time to take root. Patience, consistency, and practice are essential. By repeatedly showing your subconscious that new thoughts, feelings, and actions are safe and beneficial, you train it to support you rather than limit you. Over time, this partnership between conscious effort and subconscious learning allows you to move with confidence, act with clarity, and respond to life with calmness and purpose. The subconscious becomes a powerful ally, helping you live the life you want, step by step, day by day. Maria's story is a great example of how the subconscious mind can be reprogrammed. She had always felt nervous speaking English in front of others. Her subconscious held the belief, "I'm not good enough," and it blocked her from speaking confidently. To change that, Maria began a simple daily practice. Every morning, she stood in front of the mirror and said out loud, "I am a confident English speaker. I can express myself clearly." At first, it felt strange and even a little silly. Her conscious mind knew she was just starting, but she kept going. Alongside affirmations, Maria started journaling. Each day, she wrote down her fears and worries, but she also made sure to record one small success. Even something simple like answering a question in class went into her journal as a victory. This helped her notice progress and reinforced positive experiences in her subconscious. After a few weeks, something began to change. She didn't suddenly feel perfect or fearless, but she did feel braver. She started speaking up more often, asking questions in class, and eventually gave a short presentation. For her, that was a huge step forward. This demonstrates the real power of reprogramming the subconscious mind. Change doesn't happen overnight, but with repetition, patience, and the right tools, your subconscious starts to accept a new story. When it does, your actions naturally align with that new belief without forcing it. Maria began to change because she started to feed her subconscious a new, positive message. That message was chosen by her and practiced consistently every day. The difference between staying stuck and moving forward comes down to the beliefs you feed your mind. When you stop letting old fears control you and start repeating new, supportive messages, you begin to grow. You don't need to do everything at once. Even one small technique can start the process. Maybe you write down a single affirmation and repeat it before bed. It could be something simple like, "I am capable and improving every day." Maybe you spend 2 minutes imagining a future where you feel calm and confident. Picture yourself acting with ease in a situation that usually makes you nervous. Feel your body relaxed, your face calm, and your words flowing naturally. Or perhaps you take 5 minutes to write in a journal about a fear, and then write down what you would like to believe instead. You might write, "I can ask questions in class and learn without fear," or "Making mistakes is part of learning and growing." The key is consistency. Your subconscious learns through repetition and emotion, not logic. It doesn't matter if you feel awkward at first. The more you practice, the more your subconscious starts to accept the new message. Over time, what once felt impossible becomes automatic. Speaking up in class, answering questions, or trying something new stops feeling scary. Small daily steps build new habits, confidence, and beliefs. The moment you choose to feed your mind a new message, you begin the process of real, lasting change. So today, start small. Pick just one technique: affirmation, visualization, or journaling. Commit to doing it for a few minutes each day. Don't worry about changing everything at once. Even tiny steps repeated over time create big results. Your conscious effort guides your intention, and your subconscious turns that intention into natural behavior. By practicing daily, you can teach your mind new patterns, replace old fears with new beliefs, and grow into a more confident, capable version of yourself. Even small changes in your thinking can start to change your life. This is why one of my favorite sayings is, "Change your mind, change your life." It's simple, but powerful. Your mind, especially your subconscious, shapes your habits, emotions, and decisions. When you change what's happening inside, your outer life starts to change naturally. Reprogramming your subconscious is not magic. It's not always easy, but it is possible. And here's the best part: every small action counts. Every new thought, every positive word you speak, every habit you practice is like planting a seed. Over time, with care and attention, those seeds grow into a new way of thinking, feeling, and living. This is where consistency and patience become essential. Real change doesn't happen in a day, a week, or even a month. It takes time. Patience allows you to keep going when progress feels slow. Consistency is what makes the change stick. These two qualities are like the secret ingredients behind every transformation. Without them, the process often stops before it has a chance to begin. Consistency means showing up for yourself again and again, even when it feels small or unimportant. It doesn't mean being perfect. It doesn't mean getting everything right every day. It means practicing regularly and returning to your new habits, thoughts, and beliefs every single day. This is how the subconscious begins to accept a new way of thinking. One repetition isn't enough. 10 repetitions aren't enough. But repeated practice, day after day, builds strong new patterns that eventually feel automatic. Patience is the other key. Change takes time because your subconscious is used to running old programs. These programs were built over months, years, or even decades. Replacing them doesn't happen instantly. You need to give yourself grace, allow yourself to learn slowly, and trust the process. Each day that you practice, you are rewiring your mind, even if you don't feel it yet. Small steps repeated consistently are more powerful than big, occasional efforts. Think of it like training a muscle. You don't lift a heavy weight once and suddenly become strong. You lift a little every day consistently, and over time your strength grows. The same principle applies to your subconscious. Repeating positive thoughts, practicing affirmations, visualizing success, or journaling regularly builds new mental habits. Eventually, your subconscious begins to believe the new story, and your life starts to align with it naturally. Every small effort matters. Smiling when you don't feel like it. Saying a positive affirmation, even if it feels strange. Taking a few minutes to imagine yourself confident, calm, and capable. Writing down one small success in your journal each day. Each of these actions plants a seed in your subconscious. With time, attention, and regular care, those seeds grow into a confident, empowered, and positive mindset. Remember, change is a process. It's not instant. But with patience and consistency, you can teach your subconscious new habits and beliefs. You can replace fear with confidence, doubt with belief, and hesitation with action. Step by step, day by day, your mind can change and your life will follow. The journey may be slow at first, but every small step you take is progress. Over time, the change becomes natural, effortless, and lasting. Science shows that our brains are capable of amazing change. This ability is called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity means your brain can grow, adapt, and create new connections throughout your entire life. In the past, people thought adults couldn't change much. Now we know that's not true. Your brain is always learning, always adapting, and always able to form new habits or ways of thinking. Think of your brain like a forest with many paths. Every time you repeat a new thought or action, you create a new trail. The more you use that trail, the clearer and stronger it becomes. Walk enough times, and soon it feels natural. Meanwhile, the old trails, made by old habits and thoughts, are still there. They may feel stronger at first because your brain has used them for so long. That's why breaking old patterns can feel hard. It doesn't mean you're failing. It just means your brain needs time to practice the new path until it becomes stronger than the old one. Many people try to change quickly. They want to feel confident, stop comparing themselves to others, or speak English without fear. They start with energy and hope, but after a few days or weeks, they may slip back into old ways. This is completely normal. Change is rarely instant. Patience is essential because the brain doesn't work on a schedule. As the saying goes, Rome wasn't built in a day. Real, lasting growth takes time. Think of your subconscious mind as a garden. You plant seeds of new thoughts, habits, and beliefs. At first, nothing seems to happen. You need to water the seeds regularly, give them sunlight, and protect them from weeds. Over time, the sprouts push through the soil, slowly but surely. That's how growth works in your mind. At first, progress is invisible, but it is happening beneath the surface. Every small step, repeating a positive thought, practicing a habit, imagining success, is like watering your mental garden.